Welcome to Competition Curious, a blog, vlog, and podcast for business owners and marketers who are curious about running competitions. I am your host, Suki Van Kay. I am the world's first and only expert, strategist, and complete nerd when it comes to competitions. This is episode 2, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about what exactly a competition is. So in order to run a successful competition, we kind of need to know what we're aiming for. We kind of need to know the parameters of what exactly a competition is. And it's also helpful to know the difference between a competition, a contest, a giveaway, and a sweepstake. So we're going to cover all of that in today's episode. So I want to start with a definition of the word competition. Now, bear with me because this definition is a little bit hefty, it is a little bit dry, but it's really, really important because it covers so many of the key aspects of running a competition that you really need to know in advance before you start planning and definitely before you launch your competition. So here's the definition. A competition is a set period of time in which those who wish to enter must complete a set of predefined entry criteria or conditions in exchange for a fair and equal chance to win a prize. I did tell you it was a dry definition, so let's break it down a little bit. Firstly is a set period of time. This means that before you launch your competition, you actually need to decide when you're going to open and when you're going to close. This is also known as the competition period. And it's really important, not just for your competition legals, so your terms and conditions and your license applications, but also for your audience expectations. So they actually need to know when the competition opens, when the competition closes, when they can expect to find out if they're the lucky winner. So it's really, really vitally important, I cannot stress this enough, that you decide your open and close date before you go ahead and launch your competition. You cannot, under any circumstances, launch your competition and see how it goes and then decide when you're going to close it. So I've seen this before. People will launch their competition and then they'll wait until they have enough entries and then they will close their competition. This is hugely unethical and very unfair to your entrants, and it's also actually technically against the rules and regulations of running a competition. So make sure that you decide your competition period before you launch. The next part of our definition of the word competition is a set of predefined entry criteria or conditions. So this sounds pretty wordy, but essentially what it means is, what actions are you asking your audience to take in order to get an entry into the competition? So for example, if you're running a classic follow to win competition, the entry criteria will be go to the social profile, hit the follow button, and you're in the draw to win. Those are the steps that they need to take in order to get an entry into the competition. If, for example, you are running an enter your email to win competition, then the steps may look like going to your website, entering their name, entering their email, and submitting the form. So these are the specific steps, the specific actions that you're asking your audience to complete in order to receive an entry into your competition. The final part of our definition is a fair and equal chance. Now, this is something that kind of sounds common sense, but not all people actually do in practice. So this means that when you're running your competition, whether you are choosing your winner at random from all of your entries, also known as a game of chance, or whether you are reviewing all of your entries, say 25 words or less entries, and picking your favorite or picking the one that best meets those entry criteria that we just talked about before. In both of these cases, a game of chance and a game of skill, you need to make sure that every single entry is treated fairly and equally. This means that you cannot just look through all of the entries for your competition and choose your best friend, or just go, oh, I know that person, I will choose them as the winner. You absolutely have to make sure every single entry to your competition has a fair and equal chance of winning. All right, so that covers our definition of a competition. Now, what is the difference between a competition and a giveaway? These are two words that are often used interchangeably when we're talking about competitions, and you will actually find me refer to competitions and giveaways interchangeably on the blog vlog and the podcast. So essentially, the definition of a giveaway is something that is given away for free. And if you Google the definition of giveaway, it does actually say a thing that is given free, often for promotional purposes. And underneath it gives a little example. And it says, every issue is packed with competitions and great giveaways. So even in their example, they use competitions and giveaways in the same context, in the same sentence. So there really is no great difference between competition and giveaway when referring to competitions. The word giveaway can also refer to things like USB sticks or t-shirts or notebooks or things that are given away at expos and events for free. And people don't have to give their email address or complete any form of entry in order to receive that. So in the context of competitions, essentially competition, giveaway, exactly the same thing. Another term that you might hear quite often when it comes to competitions is the word contest. Now, a contest refers to an event where people compete using skill or talent for the chance to win against others. So here in Australia, we don't really use this word. It's mostly a North American and Canadian word that is used in the context of competitions. A really, really important part of this definition is that entrants are specifically competing with others to win the prize. So unlike our definition where every single entry is treated equally, our definition of competition, this is where people are actually competing with each other. You are talking about essentially a game of skill. So it's where people are competing with each other, showing some kind of skill. The winner will be chosen based on the skill that they show. So a contest is another word for a game of skill, and contest is not really a word that we would use in Australia. You will very rarely, if ever, hear me say the word contest. And if I do, it's usually only just to include our American friends. Another term that you may hear when it comes to competitions is sweepstake. And this is, again, one of those words that is most commonly used in America and Canada. So a definition of a sweepstake is when people enter to win a prize where the winner is decided by chance only. No skill or talent plays a part in the deciding or drawing of the winner. So as I just mentioned, there are two different types of competition you can run, a game of chance and a game of skill. If a contest refers to a game of skill where people are competing directly against each other using their skill or talent, then a sweepstake is the opposite. It's a game of chance. Okay, for us Aussies, there is one other term that is worth diving into in the context of defining what a competition is, and that is a trade promotion. Now, a trade promotion or a trade promotion lottery is a free-to-enter lottery used to promote a business's products or services. Now, this term is almost exclusively only used by the governing bodies and licensing bodies who issue licenses and permits for competitions here in Australia. Remember earlier when we were talking about the game of skill versus the game of chance? Well, here in Australia, if you run a game of chance, there is a chance that you may need to apply for a license or a permit to run that competition. When you start to look into that, you will find that the governing bodies will refer to these competitions, these game of chance competitions, as trade promotion lotteries. Now, the word literally means trade, as in a business, promotion, as in you're promoting your business, lottery, as in the winner is chosen completely at random by chance. So it's essentially the same as a competition, but it's specifically used to refer to a game of chance here in Australia. Okay, so those are pretty much all of the important terms when it comes to defining what a competition is. So just to remind you, we've covered the very important definition of a competition, and that is a competition is a set period of time in which those who wish to enter must complete a set of predefined entry criteria or conditions in exchange for a fair and equal chance to win a prize. We have also looked at the difference between competition and giveaway. Essentially, there is no difference. And we have also looked at the North American and Canadian terms contest and sweepstake. For us Aussies, we have also looked at trade promotion and trade promotion lottery, which really is only relevant if you're running a game of chance. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Competition Curious. I would love it if you could share with your business and marketing friends. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. Don't forget to rate and review if you found this episode useful. I have been Suki Lan K. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again next time.